Welcome to Michigan Out of Doors. I'm Jenny Olson, and this week we've got another brand new show for you. We're winding up the 2015 spring turkey season, but we're going to show you one of our last turkey hunts for the year and a brand new hunter to boot. You won't want to miss that, and Jimmy's got some other fun stuff for us this week too.
Well, that's right, Jenny. We do have a few more things on this week's show. We are excited for that turkey hunt. We're also going to head down to the southwest corner of the Lower Peninsula, a place that we don't go too often, and we're going to do a little bass fishing just outside the town of Sturgis. You won't want to miss that. And we're going to have part 3 in our 3-part series on food plots. Ed Spinola has been giving us some good tips and tactics for those of us that like to put some seed in the ground this time of the year. Lots of good stuff on this week's show. You stay tuned. I'm Jimmy Gretzinger, and it's time for Michigan Out of Doors.
From the first spring rains to the soft summer breeze, dancing on the pine forest floor, the autumn colors catch your eyes. Here come the crystal winter skies. It's Michigan, Michigan out of doors. Someday our children all will see this is their finest legacy, the wonder and the love of Michigan. As the wind comes whispering through the trees, the sweet smell of nature's in the air. From the Great Lakes to the quiet stream, shining like a sportsman's dream, it's a love of Michigan we all share.
Michigan Out of Doors is presented by Greenstone Farm Credit Services, making recreational land ownership possible across Michigan and northeast Wisconsin. Begin your land financing journey at one of Greenstone's 37 locations or visit greenstonefcs.com. By Vanguard, a global manufacturer based in Michigan featuring rifle scopes, binoculars, and spotting scopes with lifetime warranties. Vanguard supplies sporting optics and accessories for the outdoor enthusiast, online at vanguardworld.com. By Country Smokehouse, offering a variety of meat products. Country Smokehouse is located 3 miles south of I-69 on M53, just south of Imlay City. Country Smokehouse is a meat processor, a butcher, and a destination for sportsmen.
We all have one, that perfect spot, a special place we go to smooth out the ripples of the day. Our perfect spot is calling. Our perfect spot is Pure Michigan. Your trip begins at michigan.org.
Hi, I'm Jordan Brown, and if you've watched the show over the last few weeks, you know we've had a great turkey season so far, and we're going to start this week's show off with another turkey hunt. This one's from way over in the thumb, only a couple of miles off of Lake Huron. I was able to tag along with one of our friends from Greenstone Farm Credit as he introduced a new hunter to the turkey woods.
We're on the northeastern end of Sanilac County. We're going to try and get Taylor a shot here. He's never shot a turkey before. He's 11 years old. And we're going to try and get him a turkey either this afternoon or tomorrow because he has a hockey game on Saturday. The boy stays busy. And then we got birds this morning that went left to right, went east to west, and we're going to hope that they come back tonight or another group comes out.
I think we can get one sooner or later.
And you've never hunted anything before?
I've hunted deer in the fall.
Did you get one?
No.
So this is the first time ever turkey hunting for you?
Yes.
Dave had positioned our 2 pop-up blinds on a well-used fence row near the corner of a field where the birds had been feeding since the beginning of season. He had no doubt that we would see birds. The trick would be getting one within range for Taylor. We settled in for what was shaping up to be an eventful night.
We kind of have a hunting group here. His dad wanted to come along, and that was great. We've got a neighbor, Dave Nesbitt, local chiropractor, to come in, and he's going to help do the calling with Jordan. And I guess all I'm doing is going to look over the young guy's shoulder and make sure that we kind of handle the gun right and do things that way. We're going to give it our best shot. We've got Thursday night, May 7th. We've got all day on the 8th, and we're going to hope to get a bird down on the ground. So we've got about 16 hours to spend in the blind. We don't do a lot of running and gunning up here just because the woods are thicker where we're hunting, and I kind of respect the property lines as much as we can. So we're going to set up, we're going to set in the blinds, and we're going to give it our best shot, and we're going to try and get a bird to come by.
To say this property had plenty of birds would be an understatement. Seemed like every time you looked out the window, there was another turkey to check out. And even though we had yet to have a legal bird within range, I could tell that Taylor was enjoying his very first turkey hunt. And I think that's all anyone was concerned about.
Getting the young group out in the field, do a little hunting like this, and get them interested early. It's tough when they start to get into high school. They play sports. They're active in a lot of things. The kids that want to be in the woods and have the energy to do that are also involved in other things. So to get these kids out in the woods now and get it kind of in their blood and get them liking it early, then they'll make time to come back and do that. But when college starts, if you don't have a passion for doing this stuff, it's pretty easy to do something else. So to have an 11-year-old come out and the smile he had and get these kids, and really we need them to support the system. The licenses pay for a lot of the DNR and in the state economy. So I think the hunting population's getting older, and we need these young kids to come in behind us, and it's fun to teach them how to do it, and to do it right. And that's kind of where I'm at with getting these kind of kids out.
After seeing several longbeards in the distance, we finally had a nice bird working his way within range. But of course, he was coming in the one side of the blind where we couldn't shoot. The bird had committed to the decoys. Now we just had to hope he would make it all the way to them so Taylor could get a shot.
Okay, as soon as he clears that clump, be ready to shoot. Okay, you gotta find his head somewhere in there. I can see him. Can you find his head?
I can't.
Okay. I know. Oh, there he is. There's his head. Wait, careful. He's right there. Just be careful. Can you get him anywhere there? There he goes. Can you get a shot at him? Okay, relax. He might come back. Be still. Gonna have to find an opening soon.
Even though we had the bird within range for several minutes, we were never able to get a shot. What would have been a tough shot for even a veteran turkey hunter was too much to ask for a first-timer. On the bright side, there were still plenty of other birds around, and we had close to an hour of legal shooting light left.
The night has gone very well. We've seen over a dozen birds. We've seen about 6 longbeards. Right, Taylor?
Yep.
We had one inside of 15 yards for about 5 minutes, but between the tree and the brush, and we just couldn't get the trigger on him, could we? And we're currently watching about a dozen birds to our west, and we're going to try and figure out where they're going to roost tonight. We've had a lot of excitement today, but we just haven't got one in front of the bead yet, have we, Taylor?
Nope.
Oh, so we're going to give it a little more time here and give it another run tomorrow.
Despite one more close encounter, we were never able to pull the trigger that night. We had seen over 24 birds throughout the day and had a pretty good beat on where most of them had roosted. The plan was to move the blinds in the middle of the night, hoping to get closer to the roost and give Taylor a better chance at filling his tag in the morning.
Well, we hunted last night. We're going to go back out this morning. We did move the blinds about 100 yards last night. We had so many birds to our south that we decided to set the blinds up a little further south. We're hoping for the morning that we're going to get a kill in the morning here, because that's just the best opportunity. We're going to set up probably within 100 yards of where the birds are roosting, so we're going to get in quiet. We're going to get in early, and we're going to see what happens. We know we've got birds here. We watched them go up last night, so we're looking forward to it.
After watching most of the birds fly down and walk just outside of range, we were surprised by a lone jake that was about 10 minutes behind the rest of the birds. After a quick conversation, we decided to try and call the jake in to see if we could get Taylor his first turkey.
Barely. Good work.
That's enough. Nice shot. It's a good way to start. That's all right.
Hey, good job. Congratulations.
Good job, yeah, you got your first turkey.
Long time. Good work.
Thanks for...
Yeah.
It goes whenever you're ready. Boom!
Yeah, there wasn't much hesitation.
No, I was still getting the camera in focus. Boom!
There wasn't a lot of thought as to whether we were going to kill it or not.
Yeah.
Well, the turkey was crossing and I had my gun in the one opening, and then it moved right by our decoys, and Uncle Dave said, "Whenever you're ready," and I shot right away.
Yeah, you didn't waste any time on that shot, did you?
No.
Ready is ready.
Yep.
And we
Well,
still got a
it's
boatload of birds running
It's a
around.
young Jake, but it's a great way to start for a guy to come out and do a little hunting. So
Congrats, man.
Yeah,
Thanks.
good job.
You're in the ranks now.
Yeah.
Let's go take a look.
Yeah, go take a look, Daddy.
It's really nice.
Throughout the course of the year, I get to be a part of a lot of different hunting and fishing stories, but watching a first-time hunter fill their very first tag, well, there's just nothing quite like it. Special thanks to Dave, Taylor, and everyone else involved for letting me tag along on a great hunt here in Michigan's Out of Doors.
One of the best parts about my job is getting to travel the state of Michigan and meet many of you, the sportsmen and women of this great state. One such sportsman that I got to spend some time with recently was Andy Buss in the southwest corner of the Lower Peninsula.
You know, I got into fishing when I was in middle school or high school with a buddy who took me on a family vacation to go fishing, and I loved it. Absolutely loved fishing. It was kind of one of those, I don't call it a sanctuary, to get away from everything growing up. But I've always been a very competitive guy, especially being the youngest of 3 boys. So in college, actually, saw a tournament, local tournament, something like that, with one of my brothers, and being the competitive, macho guys we are, I thought, yeah, we can do this and have fun and compete at it. And well, we got our tails kicked for a number of years, but I'm also fortunate to be very stubborn, and I enjoyed the competition, I enjoyed the camaraderie, and I enjoyed the challenge, and stuck to it. So I've been fishing competitively, 12, 13 years now, and have gotten to a point where I'm relatively competitive everywhere I go and around Indiana and definitely southern Michigan. There, I threw a bait that was going to hover 6 inches off the ground, a drop shot rig, and I threw a Senko at him that was going to come down real slow on him. He didn't react, and then I threw a Erie darter on him, which sank to the bottom immediately, and he ate it. So again, the personalities of each fish are unique. You can't treat any two the same when they're on the beds. Have an open mind. Sometimes it's a color, sometimes it's a bait, and sometimes it's the way you present that bait. Now he bit, you can see an Erie darter, and poor boy's Erie darter matched up with a D's lures grub head. I said that was fun, but we're going to get a lot bigger.
Andy Buss is a great guy and a good angler. One of the best parts of my job is meeting sportsmen and women from all over and hearing about their love of the outdoors, like Andy's bass circuit that he helped create.
Yeah, the R&B Bass Circuit, I formed it with actually a buddy named Kevin Rybecki. I now run it with other friend Mark Fennell, and I'm real proud of it. We have the largest bass circuit in the northern half of Indiana, and it's probably the second largest, if not the largest, in the state of Michigan. We have anywhere between 120 and 160 members before the year is over. It is large. We pride ourselves on running a good tournament, a good circuit that's kid-friendly. We emphasize sportsmanship repeatedly, and our members are awesome. They comply with that, and a lot of kids show up. We give them hats, and we try to make every event a festive atmosphere, and the results are definitely shown. And we grew that large in about 3 years, and we are now in our 6th year of it.
Now, although it looks like the middle of July on this trip, we just happened to find one of the first nice days in the middle of May. It was a nice change of pace, but the weather had been fairly cold and the bass were just now starting to spawn. Today we were finding a lot of small males working the beds, and we were finding them in many parts of Klinger Lake here in southwest Lower Michigan. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, a little better. You can see he was definitely tricked from that tube bait. And he's pretty ugly, isn't he?
A little bit better fish.
Yeah, a little better.
Andy loves to bass fish and knows trying to make a living doing it, well, that's a tough road to hoe.
Well, I'm lucky. I got the greatest day job in the world. I'm a teacher of 7th grade students, and my students rock. I absolutely love them, and I'm sure they love me, and they're going to humiliate me when I come to school Monday and make fun of me on TV. But Yes, I'm a full-time teacher, and I'm a proud father of 3, got a wonderful wife, and yes, my passion is fishing outside the classroom. And to try to make money doing that, boy, that's a difficult task to take on. I don't know if I'd even recommend it for everybody. I'm not very good at it either, and I've been relatively successful and got a lot of good people that I work with. But as far as making money doing it, tournament fishing, especially on a local scene, honestly, not the way to go. You may win an R&B tournament, for example, and win $800 or $900, which it's a big deal, and but it's more prestige and honor than it is the money. You know, you may pay $70 into an entry fee, but you've spent $40 driving back and forth to the lake, another $30 of gas in the boat, and then if you practice and so forth, it very quickly adds up to where you're not making much of anything. So if you're looking to make money, maybe not the best route to take, but if you love fishing, you love to compete, and you love camaraderie and hanging out with and meeting new people, boy, you can't. It's difficult to find a more exciting atmosphere than what you see at a tournament, especially the R&B tournament or at a larger professional event like the BASS Opens or the FLW Rayovac Series. Again, we're just talking about how they want something on the bottom right now. They're not really reacting to the rattle traps or the jerk baits, but start throwing something dragging across the bottom, and immediately something picks it up.
They're biting anyways.
They are. We don't have a shortage of
doing
strikes.
our part.
That's right.
We were doing our part today. Andy was throwing lots of techniques at these fish, and all worked to some degree. Now, since Andy is a teacher, I asked him how he thinks that we can get more kids involved in the sport of fishing.
Start them young, encourage them, make it fun. You always obviously want to have action for them. If you have a boat, I've definitely learned this with kids, they usually enjoy the boat ride more than they enjoy the actual fishing. But so if you're not catching much, you don't have much action after 5-10 minutes, take a boat ride. But you don't want to force it down their throats either. We obviously want kids involved in the outdoors. We want them to put down the phones and the gadgets and enjoy what's out here in nature. But you've got to be somewhat careful with that. You don't want to shove it down their throat, and obviously let them see your enthusiasm. Let them see that you love it, and let that be contagious. It wasn't very difficult to catch fish today. We went on the east side of the lake and cruised around that flat and just caught a whole bunch of largemouth, and it would be a great place for a kid because you can put any kind of soft plastic bait on their rod and reel, and they'll eventually catch on to something. We caught a couple fish today where we laid the rod down and we're tying something else on, and by the time we picked up the rod, the fish had eaten the bait. So yeah, the Klinger Lake over here by Sturgis, between Sturgis and White Vineyard, that is a great place to start, a great place to bring your kids, and it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
We never did catch the big fish that this lake holds, but that is what keeps you coming back for more. It was a nice day to spend on the water and get to know more about this avid angler, teacher, and family man here in Michigan's Out of Doors.
The last couple weeks we've been talking to Ed Spinola about food plots and food plot preparations. This week we're going to talk to him specifically about archery season, one of my favorite times of the year.
Right now we're standing next to a bow blind, obviously a bow sight. But this one here is a little different. This is a combination bow and firearm. We're going to put in the shed here. We're going to camouflage it so you won't be able to see it, and we'll take this out. But for now, just to give you an idea, we're talking about a bow sight. You have to have cover. The deer are not going to come to your property unless you have some kind of cover so they feel comfortable. I mentioned it before. I can't say too often. The deer will not move during daylight unless they have cover. So keep that in your mind. And when they go to your place, you've got cover. Your corn is cover. Or if you have a bow sight and you have a real small plot, well, we don't plant corn. We plant sorghum. And you plant it July 10th to August the 1st. You plant a combination of sorghum, soybeans, and sugar beets. And then we're going to put a little brassica and a grain blend too, just to fill in the open spaces. This is a small spot. You've seen the video with the young trees. They're all planted. There's 14 trees here, a variety of apple trees, 2 pear trees. 5-6 years from now, we'll be picking apples. These are, you don't want to eat the big ones. You don't want the small ones. Don't get the dwarf. Get the semi-dwarf. That works best, and get a variety of apples trees so that you get some producing fruit. Maybe early September. How about late September? Does anybody know what happens on October the 1st? You need it. And get something that's going to stay on the trees too for the firearm season. Get a northern spy, something that grows and gives fruit later in the season. And those trees encircle this property, or this area, this bow site area. And beyond that, now it becomes a firearm. Planted a different way. Same stuff, a different time. And there's corn out there, and there's a lot of it. Let's talk a little bit about the setup. I'm telling you, corn, soybeans, and sugar beets, and that's the key. And they're all Roundup ready. How do you plant them? Well, if you plant a bow site in the woods, chances are very well that you're not going to be able to bring in the equipment and plant it. So you're going to broadcast fertilizer, you're going to work it into the ground with a rototiller or something like that. And then you're going to broadcast corn, soybeans, and sugar beets at a very low rate, no more than 1/3 each. Maybe a little bit more on the soybeans because the deer eat them. And then you're going to work it into the ground. And when it grows, the corn is going to be so sparse that you can see the deer walking in there. Ah, how interesting. Now, but there's corn and soybeans and sugar beets. If it's a bow site, you will probably elect to use sorghum. And you plant that, preferably July 10th. A little early if you're further north, you can go a little later if you're down south, southern Michigan I'm talking about. Now, over here we have the firearm and the bow site. I'm standing in the bow site next to the woods. Beyond 45 yards, I have a string of apple and pear trees, and beyond that is a kill plot for the firearm season. Here we plant corn, soybeans, and sugar beets with my drill. And you could do it, if you haven't got a drill, you can broadcast it, and I'll tell you what you want to do with that. But in my situation, I have a drill. I have a 6-row corn drill. I disconnected 2 rows in the middle. 2 rows, 30 inches apart, 2 rows missing, 7.5 foot. Oh, 2 rows. And I go out on one corner and I aim right at the blind, right at it. And I stop at 30, I get no closer than 35 yards. Then I go to the other side of the field, and then I put flags out there, and I step off 14, 15 good steps and put a flag. That gives me an idea where to come down with my drill or my corn planter. And I cover the whole field. Firearm, plant it in such a way that deer feel they can't see me, but you can. They will be in the 2 rows of corn more than they will in the open spot, because corn gives them total cover. And it's amazing just to watch them think that they're covered. And you can't see them when the corn is growing, but later on in the hunting season, those leaves get brown, they drop. You can see them even in the 2 rows, 150 yards away. You can't make a plot for the firearm too big. There is no such thing as too big now, because to the deer, they're in cover 100%.
If you'd like information about Ed's full-length food plot DVD, check out the store portion of MichiganOutofDoorsTV.com.
Thanks for joining us this week for Michigan Out of Doors. Make sure you check us out online when you get a chance. You can do that a couple of different ways. On our website at MichiganOutofDoorsTV.com, where you can check out wild game recipes, some of our older episodes or current episodes as well. Or you can check us out on our Facebook page at Michigan Out of Doors TV. All kinds of fun stuff happening there, and we've got some more fun in store for you coming up here on the show over the next few weeks.
Well, that's right, Jenny. Lots of good stuff coming over the next few weeks here on Michigan Out of Doors. I've been out on several different trout streams of late. We'll be bringing you those stories. I recently was at a high school bass fishing tournament. That was a lot of fun. And Jordan's been out doing some morel stories. We also have some big water stories. So lots of good stuff coming over the next several weeks here on Michigan Out of Doors. And some of our PBS stations will be going into pledge over the next couple of weeks. So make sure you pledge early, pledge often. And if you do happen to miss the show, you can always check us out online. Thanks so much for watching this week. And if we don't see you in the woods or on the water, hopefully we'll see you right back here next week on your PBS station.
Michigan Out of Doors is presented by Pictured Rocks Boat Cruises of Munising, exploring Lake Superior's Pictured Rocks National Lakeshore with its sandstone cliffs, caves, waterfalls, and lighthouses. Pictured Rocks Boat Cruises on the web at picturedrocks.com. By the Department of Natural Resources Fisheries Division, reminding fishermen that they are our first line of defense in stopping aquatic invasive species. To minimize the risk of invasives, it is required by law to properly dispose of live bait after your fishing trip. By doing so, you help protect Michigan's world-class fishery. By Propane, Clean American Energy. Propane retailers promote the safe use of Michigan-produced gas energy in homes, farms, and businesses across our great state. Learn more at usemichiganpropane.com. By Marvo Mineral, makers of Lucky Buck, deer management products including minerals to supplement deer diets year-round to improve health and antler growth. Michigan made for over 18 years, Lucky Buck on the web at luckybuck.com. Closed captioning is provided by the Michigan Propane Gas Association, Clean American Energy. Propane realtors promote the safe use of Michigan-produced gas to outdoor enthusiasts across our great state.
I am a Michigan man. I am a Michigan man. Ask where I'm from and I'll show you my hands. Lord above, I love this land. I am a Michigan. Changing seasons paint the scene like rainbow trout in a hidden stream. The white-tailed deer in the tall pine trees. I am a Michigan man. I am a Michigan man. Ask where I'm from and I'll show you my hands. Lord above, I love this land. I am a Michigan man. From the Keweenaw down to St. Joe, Kalamazoo, east to Monroe, to St. Marie and back again. I am a Michigan man. I am a Michigan man. Ask where I'm from and I'll show you my hands. Lord above,